Hey, you know they're all the same. You know you're doing better on your own, so don't buy in. When I was 19, I started down this path of losing myself. And I became this bitter, cynical, jaded by life person. I considered myself a misanthrope. So how did I realize that I wasn't the person that I was supposed to be? And how did I change that? That writerly part of me, which is such a major part of me, there was a time for years where I didn't write. And that's how I knew I deviated so far from where I was supposed to be, because something that I love so much just stopped existing. One day I just sat down and I thought, who am I? How did I get here? And do I want to stay here? And the answer was no. I didn't want to stay there. And so I went back and I started all over again. And I worked through my shit, because people, they don't want to work through their shit. They want to bury their shit instead of working through it, confronting it, and letting it go. Because if you let it go, it won't come back to you. But if you bury it, it keeps clawing up and coming out. And that's what I didn't understand. I had a lot of anger and a lot of regrets and a lot of, I wish I hadn't. I wish I hadn't hurt that person. I wish I hadn't stayed so long. I wish I hadn't never dated him. And it's all the past. It's all said and done. If wishes were fishes, the world would be an ocean, as the saying goes. So then I started breaking it down and simplifying. And that was the key, to simplify. Could I write a list and basically break down who I was as a person? And I did. I've always been an explorer. I've always loved outdoors, nature, the forest, the smell of the woods. I've always been a solitary creature, kind of outspoken, sort of funny, a little shy, quite awkward, and a writer. But I wasn't getting outdoors anymore, and I wasn't writing, and I wasn't enjoying any of the things that made me who I was. And that is an indicator. And we don't like to listen to indicators. It's like that guttural feeling. We just like to squash it down and just pretend it isn't there, but it's there. The flags are going up and the red lights are blinking and warning, and yet we just ignore it. We shield ourselves to it because we don't want to hurt people. We don't want to hurt our boyfriends or our friends or our family. But in not hurting them, we end up hurting ourselves so often. And I'm not saying that everybody should go out there and just completely overhaul their lives, unless that's needed. I'm just saying that for me, that was what was needed. And I'm not saying I don't have bad days. I do. Some days I wake up and I'm like, bah! But for the most part, I'm writing, I'm getting outside, I'm loving my animals, I'm watching my movies, and I'm being a music nerd. And I've come full circle, because I am my 18-year-old self, except, well, I'm a little older, but I'm a lot wiser. And I'm pretty optimistic, even though I get stressed out, and even though I do worry. And I'm happy. And that's most important. As spring goes into fall, and my leaves are all changing because it's autumn out there, and it's getting beautiful, it's a reminder that change is good and that there's a cycle to everything, and you have to listen to the indicators to ensure that you will be happy, and happiness is key. And that's about it for me. I'm finding out who I am and just trying to be happy. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all again next week for another edition of That Girl Tyson.
General quarters, all hands man your battle stations, all hands man your battle stations.
And just keep on keeping on.